like high support needs and disabilities, and that was really fun. But that was at one location, and so it wasn't this thing that we sort of packaged up and were able to market to a bunch of schools. It was like at a specific location that offered it kind of like a camp, sort of a camp, or like an art class, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was great. The players there that came, that signed up, they did improv games and then like kind of build a script together where we kind of gave them, they told us, and when I say us, I have a good group of people that are actually doing a lot of the teaching, and I'm kind of doing more of the higher up stuff because I also am a special ed teacher teaching second grade. So.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if this was your full-time job running this.
Yeah, I wish it was, but it's not.
I'm sure it's full-time work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not financially sustainable at this stage, and so other people who are doing some of the work we're in that development stage of trying to figure out how to make it more sustainable financially, and I really like my job, so I'm okay with just like, I'm stepping back more and more and letting some other people who are really dedicated sort of getting more and more involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's so
that
awesome.
Was a big rambly answer to your question.
No, it's wonderful. You mentioned earlier that when you moved back to Pittsburgh, it's when the improv boom was beginning. How many years ago was that?
Let's see. Sometimes I lose. 2008, I guess.
Okay.
So I think 2009 might be when the theater started. So.
Right on.
Do that math.
Well, I was just thinking, it's about like 9 or so. Yeah, it's 2017.
Something like that. I wasn't trying to be snarky.
Sure is.
More like,
sure is.
Losing
math
track of
is
time.
hard.
Dentists are learning improv, for God's sakes.
We
This
don't
is
know what's
2017.
going on.
All right.
Yeah. No, I was just
You do
thinking
the math.
because you mentioned that like improv was a harder pill to swallow for people, and I wondered how long the city had it, because even to this day, the theater where Wendell and I do most of our theater is called The New Movement, and there are shows 7 nights a week. There are 5 improv theaters in town that all do 7 nights a week of shows, and yet we still all have to explain what improv is at the beginning of every single show. And, it gets better and better. Certain nights, like a Friday or a Saturday is when we really have to explain it. Whereas like a Wednesday night crowd going to an improv show.
You came there for a reason.
They know what
you
they're
came
doing.
there very well educated as to what you were spending $5 on.
But yeah, it's very surprising how many people I have to explain what it is in a town that is just so saturated with it. I would say 1 out of every 5 people in the city is in an improv class for sure, because it's just, it's everywhere. And so,
I didn't realize there was 5 theaters.
Yeah. 5.
Oh, I didn't realize
crazy, huge. And it's not like there's one that's being run through Zach Theater, which is like a standard, like they do plays and like,
theater,
they do plays and they do like musicals and they do like road shows come into that. But most of the rest of them have spaces their own, are doing productions, are creating things all on their own. Yeah, it's a booming situation here. And I want to say, when did it start? We audience reference the Roy Janik or the Andy Kraut episodes. That's when they tell us. Yeah, I want to say like 2000 and maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
Because that's when the Hideout, which is the first Austin theater, just first sort of got kicked off in a way that is now its current incarnation. But it's wild. People don't know what it is.
2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. Okay, I did a quick Google search. So there's different troops and stuff happening. Am I allowed to say that?
No, we don't Google stuff on the show.
You're fine to Google it. We usually just guess.
So,
yeah, I could Google it, but I was like, forget it.
I was like, I should try to I'm not really good with facts. I was like, I'm talking about other people's theaters. Maybe I shouldn't. But I think about around 2010. So yeah, really, like, it's been 7 years, or and I think the theater, the Arcade Comedy Theater, I think they just celebrated their 4th year, and they're moving into a bigger space. So it really is growing, and then Pittsburgh's just growing. But yes, like, to explain improv as a distinct thing, different from theater, and I don't always see the need to. A lot of the times I'm just like, whenever I was trying to think about marketing or explaining what we do, I'll say, like, theater games, like, or I'll offer, like, try it out family theater games, and so the parents might be like, oh, little Johnny is a ham. Maybe he would like a theater game,
Yeah.
Or just try to think of different ways to spin it,
Yeah, if you get too deep with it, some people are like, oh, we're not those kinds of people. Yeah. And you're like, no, you don't have to be a hippie or anything. You just sort of have to be a person who has feelings. Oh, I don't have those. No, that's not
we can't be teaching
we don't
feelings.
allow that. No.
Not this late.
Yeah. Austin's the only city that has the feelings in Texas. Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Oops, sorry, rest of our audience in Texas.
I think I find that I don't know, this is a bigger issue or question, or, it's just, sometimes I'm also very surprised when I show improv to other people and they're not just like, their minds are just not blown, or they're just not as amazed as I would think that, like, I'll bring some people to shows, and it took me a while to be like, realize that not everybody is like, as like, just like, what? This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I gotta be doing that, It's just not everybody's personality,
Yeah,
but,
well, every time I hear whatever comedy show is the, like, #1 hit comedy show in, like, the country, I'm always like, what? What is that? That is so weird.
I
know. There's no accounting for so many people have different tastes and different styles, and they're into stuff that is like, I don't know why that's funny, but that's why there's so many of us, so that each one of us can appeal to our tiny niche audience. And,
that's right.
we can touch hearts individually and not over the internet. Yes, that's the beauty of improv, is that we get to be in person, that we get to share, even different than this conversation, which thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, thanks. Tessa.
And being able to talk to us. One of the things that we do with improv is connect in person, and in this particular scenario, we are opening ourselves up, but over the phone lines. So I appreciate you being able to do that and chat with us and share your thoughts on improv with us. I know that sometimes it's a lot easier to, meet in person, like in an improv workshop, and bond in that way, but you've been very sweet to chat with us about everything that's going on.
Well, I take Brian Gray saying they're good people to talk to. I take that seriously. He's a great person and connector of people. All we need.
Yeah, he is a great guy, and you're a great lady. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yeah.
And everybody check out Open Up Pittsburgh. Keep an eye out over at both Steel City Improv and Arcade Comedy Theater for all the fun things that they are doing, and every new improv theater that pops up or improv show that you see in a random bar or coffee shop. Go there, man.
Support
They're cool people.
Yeah.
And thank you, Pittsburgh in general, for having great people who we have had the pleasure of chatting with.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Austin.
Yeah. And, always Michelle, marry me.
Talk to you later.
Good night. Bye, Amy and Wendell.
Bye.
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 Hey, thanks for listening to the Yes But Why podcast.